Well, we're kicking off the night with Red Bull Red Edition. It's not cherry. No. Let's call it red, but it's going to be watermelon. Of the edition Red Bulls, I can tolerate more than some of the others. I want to make sure I don't lose this key at the bottom of my camera. The topic tonight I really wanted to get into, just boomer YouTube. I feel like such a boomer when stupid me watch all of part 3 of Cobra Kai, do like a pretty comprehensive video of it, coming in at just about 8 minutes, just long enough that I can even hit that sacred YouTube's gonna really like this because it's got an ad break in the middle. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll really suggest this because we can show more ads people. Nobody watches. I wake up, it's getting to be kind of a predictable thing where if you can't be watching something or playing a game and talk about it when it's not super crazy relevant just an hour ago. So it's news. So people are seeing about it in that fashion. Or in this case, it's kind of like you feel like you put too much effort into it. Whereas you could just be one of these asshat rentals who just, they don't care if something turned out good or not. It's just we have to have a trailer to react to. You're going through the same thing, says Crazy for More. It's pretty bad. But as I think about it, maybe I'm just approaching this whole thing the old way, right? The old way is, oh, the new season came out? Okay, well, we'll make some videos and then almost have to like walk people through the scenes and then point. In the case of, I don't like to give a rating for a season or an episode, so I'm okay with breaking down the episodes. It's kind of like more my approach for it. When it comes to a movie, I more want to tackle it like Siskel and Ebert at the movies, avoiding a full analysis of the script, not spoiling things if possible. But if I really have a lot of things I have to trash throughout, then I can walk you through those scenes and point out what's wrong. I thought I was doing this the cool way with Cobra Kai. I mean, it looked to me like a banger video. I've thought, oh shoot, this will take off 1,000 views when I wake up. You know, and shit, no, not at all. Instead, it was like, oh, what are we looking at? 12 hours for 20 views or some shit? 20 hours of work, nothing come of it. It's like a write-off right there. I gained 140,000 subscribers in a year and have died off in that. There's certain ways to do stuff around here, and that's the problem. The Wild West that was early YouTube, people were out doing their own things. There wasn't trailers. In fact, those asshat Fine brothers, they think they invented reacting, right? They're part of the problem. They got everybody to think that they have to do like them. So then the algorithm says, that's a whole genre. That's what it has to be. Crazy for More says, I will subscribe. You have verified check mark. You gotta get like 100,000. Send your nudes to Google or something, and then they give you the check mark. Sounds like you've actually got the neon. No, not the neon sign. The is it silver play button or gold play button? Cool. I mean, I'm trying to do the innovative stuff around here. I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to get bit in the ass because silver, and then I guess gold's a million. Then I think there's a diamond million. I think. I'm going to get bit in the ass because coming soon, I've got these 18 plus members only videos that I'm calling the director's cut of reviews and things, and I don't know what's going to happen. But at this point, it's kind of like may as well. If they say, oh, that breaks community guidelines, I'm like, hey, I hit it under 18 plus. It's behind membership paywall. You guys weren't very helpful with what or couldn't do, and you're oh, but you'll put the same stuff in a movie that someone can rent on for $2.99. So I will inevitably get banned from YouTube, but somebody else bigger, like Hell, Steven Crowder will end up doing the same thing, make a huge fuss of it, be national news, and then he has to go speak before Congress and all this shit. Like there is a pattern of me leading the way and then getting stopped so that somebody else can do the same shit and then blow up for it. You have a cute mouth. How old are you? 40. I don't even like saying that. Jeez. Yeah. I don't even like saying mouth. I've got, I got banned permanently from Facebook for literally having more friends than Mark Zuckerberg. And now Donald Trump, oh, you kicked me off Facebook? Well, we're going to have like a $40 billion lawsuit. Okay, fine, we'll settle. But you have to build my presidential library. I didn't get a shit. I didn't get any kind of benefit. I mean, it's astonishing. I was number one at the top of the leaderboard on the first Facebook game. It was called Fight Club. Had unauthorized copyright infringement picture of Terry Bogard from Final Fight. It has like the logo. And I could put, you had a phrase you could put at the top of the leaderboard, a link to a YouTube video. And I was doing like impressions of stuff, and it wasn't going bad. I was getting more views than I do now. Oh, but then Steven Crowder goes and does the same impressions, and we have up over at Fox News. Yeah, and then if we get like a big staff to make the show for him, we can really make it look like something. Shit. What dat mouth do? It's drinking Red Bull. Shit, am I gonna have to put this on paid people only or something to do the talking? New to here, hey. Man, you know, and that's the other depressing thing. I feel like now if you guys are watching my stream, would we not have any plans Friday? Pretty wild to me that the thought was, and this was years back, you can't have a hit show on Friday. You'd put a show like according to Jim? According to Jim, right? With Jim Belushi? I think it was. You put it was something Jim, right? And it would be on there for like 10 years and no one would notice, right? Because no one watches TV Friday night. Do they watch TV any night now? So, you know, why not have something people might want to watch on? Instead, they go the other direction. If no one's going to watch, let's make sure we have something no one's going to miss. Everything's wild. We had the Super Bowl this last weekend, and it was a dud, right? You know, and it's already old news. We have the parade today for the Eagles. So then you have to talk about the reaction to woman gets married and she has an ankle bracelet. Oh, she's breaking her parole or something like this. She's under house arrest, but she's out there. Hey, my computer is glitchy. What's the topic for the dream stream? Look, there's a couple of reasons when the pathetic vertical live stream. One, the vertical stuff gets shared in like the shorts feed, so people come across it. When I do the produced kind, but I'm like also acting host, no one comes by it, and it's kind of sad. So like we don't expand our base making those are going to have to settle back a little. But I also got fiber internet last week, so I was hoping this would be really smooth. Tried it last week and it's glitchy, so it's probably more of a YouTube thing, but wild to think if I do the live together smooth. I'm just hoping at this point you guys can kind of hear me decent, that it's like, I am a freakazoid, come on and wind me up. You know, not so much that, what was it, Midnight Star, I think? Talking of the old boomer YouTube stuff, just thinking about the old days of YouTube. What was the first thing you discovered on YouTube? For me, I think my friend Will, who we did a lot of gaming together back at the dorm, he told me about YouTube, I think. And I was like, what? You can make any video, like music or something? Or it was, and so then like the first thing I typed up, Michael Jackson Beat It video. And that was like the first thing watched on YouTube. And I think that was At the very, very beginning, well, this would have been about 2005. At that time in you think that's what YouTube started as, was not even the concept of you had to go buy a camera that you could then edit on your computer or something to upload, was already a bit of a reach at the time. We had a lot of digital still cameras, and they got small. Oh, you put in your pocket, whatever, right? But we hadn't yet gotten everybody into smartphones. So I think we had the concept of the camera phone, but not so much in terms of video. And there was no way to, make, connect anything so that you had good audio, external mic, nothing, right? So people were just really watching music videos. And it worked out pretty good because this was also at the time when MTV was getting music videos off television. So because you couldn't go to TV to watch your music videos, where were you going to find them? Basically a database of music videos you could just stream on demand. As people then started to make content for YouTube, very much like sketch comedy, like people were working out characters. They were doing parodies of trailers. The Dark Knight song 2008 was everywhere. Everybody had some kind of Dark Knight parody thing going. There was a lot of these, they were calling them AMVs, anime music videos. I struggle to call that a music video because I feel like the one beyond being a play music video, you gotta have a performance. There needs to be somebody at least looking like they are singing the song. And I like that because to include animation. So if that makes sense. Yeah, that was the early days of it. I remember very early on, just the stuff would be like trending, would be front page of YouTube. I had a video front page of YouTube, and I think you can find it. It's it caused a mild national controversy, or is it controversy or some shit? But video I did that got going was a fake, because I had the good editing program. I had Final Cut Pro 6, like when editing was like a skill you go to college for, and you learn how to edit videos, and you think in the future there's going to be a lot of videos that need to be edited, and then you graduate and people are like, I'm editing on my phone, and then you're like, oh shit. So I put together, it didn't quite look like a campaign ad, but it was something about like you shouldn't vote Barack Obama because Paris Hilton's going to vote for him, so you should cancel her vote out. And then she had like issued some statements saying who she was voting for. So that was kind of because of some people evidently thought was a campaign video or campaign ad, and that got on the front page of YouTube. And it got about 40,000 views in one day. That was the front page of YouTube in 2008. It was good for 40,000 views. Now, I don't think YouTube really has a front page so much. I remember that getting moved away, where it was more about let's have an ad there, and there'd be like a big banner ad for the movie this weekend, Iron Man 2. And then if you made a video review of Iron Man 2 and you slammed Iron Man 2, basically shadow banned, because then you got Marvel Studios, hey, we paid a lot of money for this and there's negative reaction to it, so you better do something about that. And we had all that censorship. Susan Wojcinski, whatever. I feel like we're beginning to turn the tide somewhat. It's not that YouTube's getting better because the algorithm is vague, and this idea of, well, you just got to make better stuff. Okay, well, how do you make more engaging stuff? Oh, you want more derivative is what you want. That's the secret of it. AMV anime clips synced to 2090s rock. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember that 95 U2 song from Batman Forever? Dun, 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 dun. Kiss me, kill me, yeah. That was like an anime. The music video was very anime, and same here. KMFDM Juke Joint Jezebel anime from clips from the Pat Labor, is that what it's called? Pat Labor. Been wanting to get that. It's out of print, so we can't. Someone wants to send me their Pat Labor seasons and movie, but I've got other anime coming. I just watched all the Bubblegum Crisis. So this is the booklet that was actually in here. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Let me get that for you. I tell you what, I series. I've got problems with this release, honestly, and you can kind of see here. It's not showing up. This is one of those where we want to put the discs on the inside, so then we're going to mess up our artwork. So you got to kind of like slide this out of the way to access the disc. Otherwise, you're going to eventually punch through the artwork. So you got to kind of like, oh, I want to get this disc out. Okay, get it out, and then we'll move this back before I close this thing up, right? So it's going to do you like that, and that kind of sucks. It's astonishing that we're never going to have better covers for like standard editions packaging, because look, remember those old Warner Brother ones where you had the cardboard in front, Blade Runner, every Blade Runner DVD, and it had a cardboard in the front, and you open it up, the cardboard. Almost favoring that now, to be real with you. But this stuff where you have these make on what, the third use, always. So we're going to be just kind of stuck with this, because you know they don't want to make advancement media. It's like, if we had an amazing horse carriage, but we already had cars, you know, which company is going to be in business? I've messed this up all bad. I got to work this in. No, they're focusing on the digital stuff. So there are a few of these kind of like book-like. I don't think I have one around here right now. You got the book-like stuff, right? Actually, here's I'm gonna tear stuff up over here. This is from Criterion Collection. You know, at least this design right here, and then it slides in. This is for Lone Wolf and Cub. It gives you a pretty clean box. Okay, so you get that, at least. So that's not bad. I do have Expendables over here. I lost the little paper with the digital copy stuff. I had to tear the place apart looking for it. Steelbook work. I mean, it looks premium, right? But on top of that, you know you're not damaging anything over here by pushing this stuff out. And I think they build these a little more fortified. That's the way I feel about it. Did I check out Retro Crush? I have not yet. I've been seeing a fair amount of actually on Plex. I've watched Cyber City Odeo 818 or something, or I can't remember the damn number. I mean, look, if you guys don't see me making a video, I'm probably something to then make a video is probably what I'm doing, but I'm trying to put this stuff over here. I am looking at buying Megazone 2-3 because Plex and other places have the first and the second episode, not the third one that I think is split into two pieces. And I've heard that one's bad, but you got to see the whole thing if I want to talk about it, I feel like, right? YouTube went to commercial. It was in a, yeah. You know, I've talked about the story on this before. There's a girl, and she had the most subscribers for a girl on YouTube. And Miley Cyrus was catching up with her. And she made a plea, wouldn't you rather the top YouTube girl be a YouTube girl instead of some celebrity who decides to be on YouTube? as things get more popular, they court Hollywood. YouTube courted Hollywood. Hey, we got your trailer releases over here. Hey, we'll let you upload the red band stuff. Yeah, screw it. Basic YouTube users, you can't do the same shit. Screw you guys. I feel like that's turning a little bit. I feel if there's something we see that they got away with in Hollywood that they're allowed to do here, I think you and I can do the same. You're just going to have to be kind of careful about it. Speaking of the stuff going to Hollywood, like Hollywood says what's trending, let's jump on that. Oh, the comic book movies are really blowing up. So we got to engage those comic book fans over at Comic-Con, which is now turned into Movie Announcement Con. Oftentimes nothing to do with comic books. Guys, if you're watching, get those thumbs up going. Become a channel member. We got all kinds of crazy stuff coming. And late next week, I've got to have my grandma come live with me for a week. So that may hamper my ability to get some stuff done. But I am going to try to get some things taken care of beforehand to sprinkle around. There are days where I upload a short or a reel. Is it a reel or it's a reel on Instagram? It's a short here, right? And the shorts perform very well because they're kind of in a shorts feed. And that's YouTube's way of trying to bolster a TikTok connection. My hair is bothering me right there. It's trying to be like, hey, you don't have to. You can come over here to YouTube. It's an American platform. Your data is safe, whatever, right? But most of those are not all that compelling, really. There's a lot of stolen content in the shorts realm. I also see, and this is kind of a shrewd use of AI, but there are apps you can get that will recut your longer videos and make them into shorts. And like, okay, so we got two people being interviewed on a podcast, and we're gonna stack top of the other so that we now have a portrait view. And that's not a terrible idea because now that gives you another way to get a message there, a hook, something simple, put it in the feed, and people hopefully click to watch the longer video. Which tells me immediately after this, I'm probably going to have to court to promote my Cobra Kai season part 3 breakdown because no one's watching the video. And I thought I had a pretty damn good video. Hell, and it's not even like a rage bait thing. I didn't slam the show or nothing, but people are like, nope, don't need to hear that. On the other hand, it is the kind of video where you have the whole series in order to watch the video. I do say up front, spoilers, right? YouTube will be shit because Gen A uses more YouTube, Gen Z uses TikTok. Uses more YouTube. Why wouldn't that mean that the a-holes come after the Zoomers, right? So they're going to okay, look. There's a way this could blow up in everybody's face. Who do the a-holes watch on Twitch? The millennials. They watch the millennials and the Zoomers play games, pretty much. Well, shit, are the millennials now too old? Say they watch the Zoomers. Or a whole generation of watching and not doing. So we're going to have kids who watch people play games rather than actually play the game. Oh, well, if you did over at Konami, where they're like, hey, let's do like a remaster of a game 2004, Metal Gear Delta Snake Eater, okay? And they're like, yeah, it's a remake. That'll be $70. Oh, you want the like cheap stuff over here? You want the good camo out the gate? Well, that'll be 90 or some shit, 80 or 90. It's like, when does Congress step in and say, okay, you want to do a remake? You want to do a remaster? You want to do a reboot? Well, then you can't charge full price for that. That would encourage things to be original. PlayStation, I feel sorry for you guys. I know this game Days Gone, about some guy with a motorcycle and he has to get away from zombies. So it's, repetitive Walking Dead, but because it's on PlayStation, it will be called The Last of Us Motorcycle Edition or some shit, right? As well. You wanted a sequel. Okay, don't worry, we got your back. We've got a remake. Yeah, so they got a PlayStation 5 remaster. At least Xbox hasn't done like this, where they said, oh, let's give you Halo 3 on the Xbox One. Now you have to buy it again for the Series X. Like, just the way that they have tried to milk the Last of Us that way, like releasing it like 3 times, like, oh hey, we just had this game, but now we've got one for the PS5. At least with Xbox, I feel like there's some effort to, oh hey, it's an Xbox Series optimization patch. Now it runs at a high frame rate. At least we got that stuff for free. As it kind of should be. I'm like that work goes unappreciated. I'm sure when they upgraded Witcher 3 Wild Hunt to make it series optimized, I'm sure it increased sales, right? But if you make all these other games expensive, I don't think people get to sample them the way that they could have. Well, we had Blockbuster or whatever your preferred store is. Gameflix, I had a subscription to. Gamefly. Gameflix was like a combination of Gamefly and Netflix. And I think the spokesperson, dude, you're getting a Dell. Was it, dude, you're getting a Dell? Does it have a CD burner upgrade? Like that guy. I think he was like spokesperson after he had like a drug problem for Games and Flicks. Assuming they're long gone, Games and Flicks. Shit, is Gamefly still a thing? You charge $80 for a game. Gamefly starts to look pretty enticing, doesn't it? Though a lot of the stuff you want to play now doesn't get a physical release, probably just to stop you from renting it. Yeah, oh, we got to kill off that rental. You know, we kill off the rental side. We get IGN and GameSpot to lie in the reviews, and now everyone's curious for themselves. Commerce. The free market system is flawless. Yeah, wait, it won't be long, guys. That PlayStation 6 comes out, and they just say, oh, we forgot to include a disk drive. Guess we don't need those anymore. Xbox is like, oh, if they don't have to have a disk drive, then we don't need a disk drive. And then you end up with no physical media at all. In the very least, I want to have that optical drive so I can put my movies in. You know, how else am I going to get those 4K high dynamic range and all that, right? Especially if they decide that they don't want to make the players anymore. We could be coming up on a point there where they decide, okay, we're out of the 4K player business. People are using just their game consoles. And then when the game console's like, you know what, we're out of it too. People aren't buying the game console anymore. But not because they don't want the disk drive. How about because, oh, I don't know, the hardware is going on 5 years old and the price has been the same. Can you recall what a PlayStation was in 1999, right? Or 2000? It wasn't brand new price. It wasn't $299. I'm pretty damn sure. Probably got my PlayStation in 1998 for $199 would be my guess. You know, a Dreamcast never made it to 5 years, but Dreamcast in a couple of years was like dirt cheap. Like, please just take this off the shelf for us. No, you pay later. Like, that was kind of the attitude. Now they're like, oh, I guess because we don't have that much edition, we can just charge whatever we want as long as it matches what the other guy's doing. We'll just agree on a price and do the Nintendo Switch type thing. Have a console that's been around for too damn long. People would ask me, why don't you get a Switch? Because it was from 2017 and they want like new prices. Not like crazy affordable deals. The hardware's too old to be getting into, and now everybody's going to that'll be backwards compatible, and you may end up in a situation where it's the current generation, where the best games on the PlayStation 5, the best games on the Series X are actually the games from last gen that now finally run at a good frame rate. So if you want to play your Tears of the Kingdom at above 15 frames per second, Switch 2, there you go. Nintendo will be like, it's with a killer app, your whole library of Switch games. And that's what will happen. Oh man, but there are things I'm looking to play. Only I know I'm going to get that kind of gimped experience, like this Avowed coming to Xbox pretty soon. Means this weekend, I'm definitely going to have to do some mopping up on those achievements in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because that game is like a chunky 134 gigabytes, and I need space for Avowed. But beyond that, I see, the stills out there for new to here. I'll get you in a second. Don't want to lose my train of thought here. I see the stills for the Great Circle, and it's like, wow, the NPCs look great. Like, this looks not like it does on Xbox Series X, which for that game, it's like, look, we could have gave you the quality and the still promotional stuff, but it would have ran at 30 frames, maybe 25, something like that. But let's give the Series X experience 60 frames per second. Why can't we get more flexible compromises? Like, okay, maybe don't do it in 4K. Let's do 2K. All the graphics bells and whistles. Like, give us some idea of what we can turn on and off to get the experience that's going to work for us. Because maybe I didn't need it being 4K sharp if I had as much playability and could do it 2K, right? Nintendo Wii U is worse than PS5. A lot of the Switch, Wii U, when you think about it, there is one Mario Kart game per generation. Except the Wii U's Mario Kart kind of became the Switch's Mario Kart. Switch is where people went to go play Mario Kart 8, right? Or did they call it Mario Kart 8? I think the Switch 2 is going to be redundant. I'm curious what the pricing is going to be. For damn sure they've got to undercut the Steam Deck. And then there's another thing. Isn't there something called like a ROG? R-O-G? I'm not a gamer. I don't want to get into that PC scape. So I don't really want to go that route. But Nintendo will surely undercut that more advanced hardware from Steam, right? Or, well, from Valve. But I'm thinking that they might also put quite the priority, the prestige pricing that comes with Mario, right? Their IPs, spotless. Like, they have the best IPs in gaming because, somebody like Gears of War comes in. It's like, whoa, it's a huge hit. It kind of comes and goes. And I don't mean comes and goes. I mean, it's like, you keep doing it, but the popularity is all over the place. Mario and Zelda, it's just banger, banger, banger all the time. Between Mario and Zelda, and then exclusivity for the legitimate Pokemon games, Nintendo can charge whatever they want, and it'll probably work out. They give you a more unique experience than what the Xbox is doing, which is ports and soon to be, not even exclusives. It's like they bought too many damn companies, too many developers, and now they can't. But they don't have enough consoles to sell enough games to make a profit, so they have to put them on PlayStation. In exchange, PlayStation's like, no, we're not giving you Spider-Man. We're not giving Gran Turismo. We're not giving you The Last of Us. We're not giving you God of War. Why would we do that? Like, we're doing fine over here. Yeah, you can bring your games over here. It just makes more PS5, PS6, whatever, PS5 Pro. Man, everything's wild. I think they're saying it, but Microsoft is looking to get out of the console race by calling everything that isn't a console an Xbox. Over here, you're watching this on a phone, it's an Xbox. Like, they give you that so they can then lie to themselves. We sold 200 million Xboxes. Because your phone is an Xbox now, and so is your smart TV. You have a Samsung. Like, I started my Samsung, my OLED, and it's just like, hey, here's the Xbox section. Like, Jesus. The VR thing, I'm not sure if you've seen of this, but Disney, of all people, has a VR floor mat. I think it is motorized, so there may has to be something to work out here. But it's a tiny wheels like floor that you can walk on and maintain where you're at. You don't So you could be in a VR game and actually walk and interact with the space without walking into a wall, tripping over a couch, falling down staircase, things like that. I think at the height of it, the VR thing should be like the limit until we do like full on Matrix where we jack in personally and we don't even need the visor, because the VR stuff is it's going to be a level of immersion that is beyond what we have looking at our TVs. No matter how nice our TV is, I don't get confused and feel like I'm in the game, right? Like, not the novelty of being young and playing the game and feeling like the characters are part of your life or something goes away. It's a little to get back when you're old. Just a headset with a visor and controller is fine for me. The controller, though, is not. I think we have to rethink the VR controllers to some degree, because they need to mirror what item it is that you're using in the game. So if you're doing a shooter in VR, you probably have to actually pick up a rifle, a pistol, to give that real authentic experience, to feel like you're in duty VR, but you got a controller in your hand. Oh no, it kind of seems like that would be the disconnect to me. So a good VR game would probably, to really with racing. Racing with VR is a good way to go to start, because you're seated. You could have a steering wheel. You could have accoutrements to shift gears, pedals, all that stuff, and seem like you're in a car. And you could look around freely, things like this, right? To try to take that experience and go, okay, let's make an RPG. How are we going to simulate a sword? For like Skyrim VR or whatever, some Elden Ring VR mission. It's going to be rough. Maybe some kind of digital gloves. Could we make you put on your hands and then they have functioning weight about, like, you pick up something heavy, the gloves are suddenly heavier. So you could throw and catch a football. You feel it? Yeah. Man, I don't know if we can get there in my lifetime. I always thought Mirror Edge was Sonic done right. I really like Mirror's Edge. It's still installed on my Xbox. I've been weighing. Would you guys, new to here, would you like me to stream the time trial DLC? I know they had some like time trial fantasy maps that it's all $5. I thought, the game's old as shit. Why is this not discounted? And it's all $5 in the store. And I'm thinking I may as well buy it before it disappears and gets delisted. But that, it's like another 500 gamer score or whatever. But I haven't played those, and I haven't played Mirror's Edge in a couple years. So it would take one of the things holding the game back was it was working controls different to try to free you up so that you could keep the stick on the two sticks and jump. So you had like this awkward thing where it's like jump with left bumper, left trigger, L1 or something. Weird place to jump. So I'd have to try to train up on that. But you know what? Maybe new to here, you let me know when you would like this stream. We'll do it on Twitch and then like export it here maybe next week for something. I wrote Mirror's Edge would be good in VR. I think that was an early thing. I saw people trying to play VR with like the HTC Vivo, was it? And you roll around on Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is one of those games when you do a tactical, the camera flips with you. Instant nauseous for too many people in VR, I feel like. That game also gives me, it's like a S&M thing. It gives me quite the throbbing headache because it's just all the whites are really punched out. It's kind of wild like that, but and you've got a very bobbing head and frantic motion blur with the arms going and stuff. But when Faith like kicks a door down and got people chasing her, it's pretty thrilling. I would like to have seen Mirror's Edge Catalyst work that angle more. When they said that was going to be open world, I thought it's doomed. Because in an open world game, you don't have the track layout. The course, open world is such a get around for level design. Just put some shit there. It looks realistic. They can jump off of it. Level design is way more complicated than practical urban planning. Apply that to a game. Oh, what are we going to do? They could change all of that around, get less sketchy. You're talking about for the VR? Man, they do not lead the way. PlayStation's like, yeah, we'll give you some VR. Xbox is like, no. You guys didn't fall for the Kinect, so we're out of doing anything that might lead the way. Now, just move your computer to your TV. That is the experience that we're giving here. You want to play, but you want to put your feet up? Xbox is for you. And that's pretty much the Xbox experience. What are the good studios in America anyways? It's hard for me to get there because in my formative years, it seemed like the good game studios were Japanese, right? Like Nintendo, Konami, Capcom. Is Bungie American? Are they considered a good studio? And anybody that is owned by Microsoft, are they not Microsoft Game Studios by default? So anything from Activision, Blizzard, are those now American brands by proxy here? Oh man, that buying Activision screwed so much shit up. Oh yeah, we'll be the home of Call of Duty. Everybody's gonna be flocking to the Xbox to play Call of Duty before the PlayStation. We got them now. Man, we're screwed here. You can have our IPs. Screw it. And how long can you get people to keep buying the same redundant shooter? I guess it works easily of Madden football in NBA 2K, MLB The Show, simply because in real life you have a roster update, right? You got new rookies come in, you got guys retire, you got new logos, teams, they got a new stadium, we got to make these improvements for a game that could be a live service title. Instead, the astonishing thing is there are asshats out there, I'm using the term correctly, who buy the new Madden each year and pay extra money for some kind of weird fantasy team thing that they then have to start all over next year. Buy your tickets, whatever, tokens, something, and then you have to like the pack of virtual cards, and you open that up and you say, I got Tom Brady, but he's a rookie who only played one game. It'll be things like that, right? So, could be a live service game. You're already gouging people with these DLC add-ons, making it a game for service, but you also want $70 each year. And the NFL likes that. The NFL made that exclusive deal with EA because they did not like 2K/ESPN NFL 2K5, or was it called NFL Game Day 2K5? ESPN's football 2K5. I'm trying to remember what they called that. Had Terrell Owens on the cover. They did not that game being sold new for $20 at all. Oh, you devalued the Shield. You got a license and you sold the game cheap, and that makes us look bad. And now everybody's like, that's the last good ball game. Because after that, fine, EA, charge whatever you want. Just make it expensive so that it adds the prestige. Shit. Everything's wild like that. On the horizon for me, I have parts coming in from Hong Kong that should arrive either tomorrow or probably Monday for my arcade stick. I also bought a case on Amazon to store my fight stick. But now that I'm thinking about it, Timu, is it Timu or Timu or Timu? Timu. I probably could have got a case really cheap there, but then have this like, is China spying on you or whatever? So I ended up buying like a $80 case. That's like a tool case, but probably could have got that for like 20 or so. But then who knows what the shipping, how long it would. I think that's the problem with Temu. I haven't actually purchased from any of those, obviously Chinese companies yet. I was approached to do some kind of affiliate AliExpress thing, but I haven't really seen anything on AliExpress wanting. I was looking for storage cases there, and they weren't really any cheaper than Amazon. Now, when you go to, like, out of your way to go to the Chinese website like this, you expect things to be pretty cheap. And instead, it's like, do you want to, okay, you save $20, but you a month for your case. And I was thinking, nah. Yeah, I'm waiting for GTA to tank. That's nothing. GTA 6 is like the game to end all games, man. Look at the insane amount of money GTA 5 continue. It's astonishing. I don't think GTA 6 is going to make less. And look, are we in this kind of like arms race now for GTA 6? Where it's like, if it doesn't make as much money as GTA 5, it's considered bomb. Even if it's highly profitable, but if it doesn't make GTA 5 money, do they say, well, we can't make another one of those first? We got to kick this thing going. You got to make more money, stretch it out, right? There'll probably be plenty of DLC. Shit, it seemed like, wasn't there DLC recently in GTA 5? Am I wrong? I've seen calls. You don't see a lot of game commercials anymore, but I have seen GTA 5 commercials in the last year and a half, I think. I don't think it'll make GTA $5, says new to here. I think it will. I think they could go really gougey. I floated this out there a while back. You could have $1,000 influencer edition. Give you like a car people can't buy anywhere else. 2 weeks or a month ahead of street date gaming early access. People would pay $1,000 so that they could have early access in GTA 6 streaming on their Twitch. They absolutely would. The power users over there would feel like they'd have to, right? But hell, they're probably given access codes. Who knows? It could be crazy like that, right? Is that Avowed? Is that a Microsoft Game Studios title? I probably could have gotten a code for that. Because I did get a code for Hellblade 2, but it wasn't good until the day the game launched on Game Pass Ultimate anyway. So I mean, it's kind of didn't make a difference. But Atticus Spartacus, I see you. I don't see Atticus Spartacus. What am I doing the chat here? I'm waiting for GTA Tank. Yeah, okay, we see that. So is he here or not? Did I mess something up and I have like only top messages? Is that why I'm not seeing things? Who wants to be a moderator? Is that what we gotta do? I remember there being a thing. Okay, top. Let's go all. Oh, there's Atticus. How come Atticus isn't... Huh. Oh, he said a lot of things. Shit. Atticus, for some reason you're not showing us top. PS3 was the best looking console. PSP was the best looking. Man, that Gen 1 PSP did not look bad. When we're talking about from the standpoint of the console itself, PS3's ugly. Nah. You know, I think the Dreamcast looks pretty good. The Neo Geo certainly had a good look element about it, I would say. Atticus wasn't showing up, I'm sorry. I had to go over here and hit all messages. Every time I want to do the all messages, but instead it wants to have top. So Atticus might have even been here at the very start saying something and then not shown up. Like when did he jump in? Maybe one day we'll have live streaming at speed of light. I won't be alive then, but still fun to think. Grandpa, tell us about latency, right? It's astonishing. I got fiber, and I can't find any answers to this, but fiber internet, 2.5 gigabytes up and down per. The latest router, yet every 10 web pages or so, pictures just don't load. I hit refresh, don't load. I hit refresh, don't load. Eventually they kind of load. Like GIFs aren't loading. I don't understand it. But I'll tell you this. Hey, that Cobra Kai video I uploaded, that would have taken 30 minutes easily to upload through the Wi-Fi. Now it's done pretty damn quick. It was probably under a minute. So in the long run, that could help with the workflow. Too bad the PSP Gen 1, the leaky battery issue was hard to get replacements. I played the original PSP briefly. There was a guy in college whose little brother got a PSP. And he would come around in school. And actually, this guy's little brother was the one that showed me the trick for cheating in Fight Club so that I could register way more fights than you're supposed to so I can maintain my #1 rank. Al. No, wait. It was Al's brother. Okay, hold on. I forgot the kid's name. But he had a PSP. We played a little bit of that. I've seen a Vita in a store, and I thought it was pretty cool. But then the Switch comes around, and it's just kind of like... The Switch is like the Vita Pro, is it not? But I don't know. It just seems like PlayStation's almost able to pull some of the stuff off. They probably didn't have the IPs to do it. I think Nintendo's IPs are more mobile on-the-go gaming friendly. And I don't think PlayStation's there. What could you do on an Xbox, right? Race shooting. And if the shooting isn't fulfilling on a tiny screen, first person, you know, I can see why Xbox doesn't want to go there. YouTube automatically chooses top messages for you live, or in all cases. Yeah, so how come I can't leave it on all every damn time? I don't know. YouTube ads have been absolutely relentless this past week. What do you mean by that? Are you getting ads when you watch this? Do ads interrupt the stream? Because I don't have that set. I don't think so. I heard YouTube was going to bring out 1-hour ads. They have the Daily Wire. Right, I have come across, and it's been a little while, but you start watching something, and then if you are not at your phone, you can get a full episode of the Michael Knowles Show or some shit from the Daily Wire as an ad. Not just in the front of a video, I'm saying like as a mid-roll video. The trick is you're allowed to skip it after 10 seconds. If you're not at your phone, you end up basically, oh, hey, I was listening to a guy tear down a Dreamcast and repair it, but now it sounds like he's talking about bearded women. Oh shit, it's an ad for the Daily Wire, right? That's the sort of thing that'll happen. Kind of. The bad thing is if you YouTube on TV, you are extra punished with ads. You have like a gang of ads. Oh, you can skip after. Okay, good. To the next ad, not skip the ad break. What I don't understand is why do they have a skip button? I don't want to have to pick up the remote and hit skip or have to push a button to hit skip. The way I had things going for the longest time was the way that I thought was less abusive to my few viewers was non-skippable ads. The non-skippable ads were very short. So you'd get a full ad play, but it was like 10 seconds and then you're next. Whereas the skippable ads, it's really the same amount of time interrupting anything, but now you're requiring people to hit skip. YouTube, being greedy, said, no more choices. If you have ads, they're going to be as obtrusive as we want them to be. Oh, but you don't have to have ads. Okay, well then what's justifying all my time making the stuff, if you don't have any ads, right? So, yeah, just being real shitty. Not the stream, no, but ads are on everything. I've been getting 2 20-second unskippable ads on 5-minute. To get that on a 5-minute video, you got to get those on because you got to hit 8 minutes. And you see there are a lot of channels that specialize in jitsuing their way to an 8-minute mark so that they can hammer you with adverts. And somehow I'm the bad guy for pointing this out. It's always somehow, for my entire life, everything gets reverted to being my fault, some way or another. What's your opinion on Milo Yiannopoulos? He's just a rage-baiting troll. He went away, didn't he? I hadn't heard that name since the first Trump administration, early, until a few weeks ago. And I think he must have done something to try to get back in the news because somebody had to talk about him. I don't know. Oh, don't get ad block. That ruins the experience for the creator or something. YouTube demote your content if you don't. I'm pretty sure that's what they do. See, years back, YouTube was like, hey, we really want you to make really short content. Our studies showed that most people watch videos that are they watch less than a minute of a video, so therefore we want less than a minute videos. What people simply want is something they can leave on, go make a sandwich and listen to, sit down and keep listening to it because it's 45 minutes. So therefore, the things that are long as hell that can have a topics go up in the algorithm. That is the key. You make the TikTok type shorts from your 45-minute dissertation on The Last Jedi, and then YouTube says all's good. And you have to talk about the same movies everybody else is talking about, or no one cares, right? Shit. I'll die before I buy premium. Just watching that Cobra Kai, that was a YouTube Red original. My video nobody watched, I pointed out at the end there that as a YouTube Red original, I was turned off by the show initially. I watched the first episode, and I can't in good consciousness pay to take the out of YouTube. Once YouTube gets into the we're making our own content game, it really did become like everybody else was just feed our viewership to YouTube directly, was what it came down to. A matter of, oh, you make stuff here so that your viewers can see the front page banner ad and all the stuff reminded that they need to go watch Cobra Kai, whatever other YouTube Red original garbage. So then they shrewdly got away from that. It wasn't something YouTube needed to get into. They didn't need to make content, really, did they? You had millions of people making content for free that you're not paying up front. So why do you need to evoke a 1980s film franchise, right? Okay, so you're talking about Milo here. He was sent on Tim Pool just a few days ago, and you can only find that stream on Rumble now. I do kind of keep tabs with some that ilk to see how they're manipulating things, but Candace Owens right now, I've been meaning to check this out, was she talked to the brothers, the Nigerian brothers that worked with Jess Lett to stage the noose hoax. So I wanted to hear what they had to say about that. Weirdly, not something in the news enough of the famous hoax news craze. That really goes away, doesn't it? In a very, we have to find a way to make sure this guy isn't punished, because the more important thing is that he was speaking up against truth to power or something like that, whatever, right? If I recall correctly, Jesse didn't get prison time, or if he did, somebody in the chain was able to throw the case out before he had to do any, had to actually go in. Like, crazy shit. And if these guys, the smoking gun, he hired us to stage this, whatever. How come they have to go talk to Candace Owens? Like, it's not a major news thing, because all the new stuff comes and goes, but till they find the story they want, right? YouTube has become everything it once. It once was an alternative. That's what I'm saying. The Hollywood infests. Hollywood comes to YouTube, screws it up. Hollywood goes to streaming. Streaming actively courts Hollywood because they want the Hollywood content, thus ruining streaming. I still like Kanye West. I just don't listen to rap. Candace should interview Ken. I was listening to Candace, I think it was last week. She said something about, and this is her words, I used to be friends with Kanye. So there's evidently been some kind of fall there, so I don't think that they're going to be talking. As I would say for Kanye West right now, I think what had happened is that he's such a rage baiting troll. He was like, I've been out of the limelight too long. I got to do something to get some attention. You're not wearing any clothes. Here's a swastika shirt. Let me go on a rant. And that rant tests the boundaries of Fantasia in terms of X's, we're a platform of free speech, right? Which, if people look into it at all, it's a paid speech model. You have to pay for X Premium Plus, or you're effectively shadow banned. I mean, you pay for internet access. You didn't have to pay for access to the town square, right? But they want to dress it up as free speech, and this is the town square. They it makes them sound so great, right? So as people speak up, you don't have anyone actively banning Kanye, but the mute button's there. So as soon as that upsets you, you can mute that, and now all should be good in your end of the internet, right? So as far as the censorship goes, just employ your own censorship, right? Like, that sure frees up the websites, doesn't it? Now, I mean, X wouldn't have to pay the moderators to figure out who's breaking the rules if everybody, stayed on top of it themselves. And hell, my favorite thing is mute conversation. Reply, drop a hot take, leave, not have to hear anybody complain about it. Candace, dinosaurs aren't real, but a crucified zombie rabbi is Owens. Where did she say dinosaurs aren't real? Because that'd be a fun listen. She does strike me as crazy for a few reasons. So she's doing now. It's a multi-part expose thing on the First Lady of France, declaring that the First Lady of France is trans, and hiding it. And she gives out too much information. And then when there's like some kind of rebuttal to it from the French press or whatever, what do you know that we don't know? Because we haven't gotten to the topic. I'm like, lady, you said the thing like 2 days ago. I'm like, come on. And then she's like, if the president of France doesn't answer my questions, then that means he's covering something up. Imagine the gall to be like, hey, if I write in Donald Trump and I don't get a response, then that means he's guilty of the crime. She thought she's like entitled to answers from the head of state of a country she's not in, right? Jesus. Twitter is lame. Twitter used to be good. A lot of this stuff used to be pretty good. See, I think X is way worse now than it was, and let's not say 10 years ago, but maybe bring that back even further. 2010, 15 years ago, Twitter was pretty damn. YouTube, I think, is coming around slightly. They've learned from their mistakes. Get rid of that YouTube Red premium content, right? Like, YouTube doesn't need to be creating content. That's somebody else's. You got millions of creators feeding your site for free. Well, I've been signing up for various beta test sort of things for YouTube and AI, and so it's there are some good features that could be coming that could make things just a little easier for the small creator. So that's nice. But before that, did they cared about what anybody was doing on the small end of things? Now you actually have chat support at all times a day, minute wait at most. You got like actual support, all these tools that help you with stuff. There's even things now where it can like generate like a thumbnail. There's like possibilities of that, like stuff that just helps out. So yeah, I think Candy Ass Candace is a bit sociopathic. It's very weird for her to be requesting insane amount of money for live virtual. The right-wing grift when it comes to speaking, Jesus. If Ben Shapiro, he will do the speaking at your college if there will be a protest. Because if there's not a protest, there's no news. So he needs there to be like a small riot, small controlled riot outside, justify security detail, because that makes him seem like a mafia boss. And then that small riot out there heightens his profile. And that's before Ben Shapiro had riots at, what was it, UCLA or some shit. I hadn't heard about him. Why would I need to know who he was? Oh, but we have a news story because there's a little ruckus. And that might justify a price. Hey, I've got all these guys I have to bring. I have to bring security. We have the venue safe. That costs some money. But for a virtual speaking fee, Candace Owens wants like 20 grand or some shit for a virtual talk saying nothing of value about pretty much just circle talking because there's nothing to say. Money laundering, guys. Yeah. What you want to bet, a lot of these right-wing grifters, they get the money in the speaking fees, and right? It can then get circled back around to the politicians. I've seen the conspiracy that Barack Obama's wife is really a guy named Mike. All hinges on him once saying Mike. Oh, me, Mike. You know, it was something like that. And then it's like, oh, it's got to be Mike. I've seen people say, oh, we have pictures of her in grade school and it looked like a tall girl, you know, just whatever. It doesn't really matter all that much. I guess the cover-up is more than the crime, right? How about Terrence Howard and his wacky algebra? Was that a Joe Rogan interview? I think I saw him talking about things. There were things that he said that kind of made some sense. But then when you also have stuff that's weird, that doesn't seem to add up, that seems to be a way to invalidate reasonable things said by the person. So you got to be how you go about stuff. Terrence Howard Supermath was so sad he lost his mind after Disney Robert Downey take. That's probably the truth. After he had something worked out. I remember him saying this where it was like he did a favor for Robert Downey Jr., but then Robert Downey Jr. didn't stand up for him, resulting in him kind of getting like kicked out of Iron Man 2. So from that point forward, it's not exactly like the worst career after. It's not like he's toiling in straight to video. He had I guess a hit show, Empire, right? Never watched it, but my understanding was it pulled decent numbers over on Fox, right? So it's not like completely terrible for him, but from a relative perspective, yeah, I mean, would have probably doubled his net worth if he continued along some Avengers films, right? But I wonder what Avengers movie pay rate is, right? Outside of Robert Downey Jr. I mean, a lot of these guys look pretty damn expendable. We could cut your scenes, right? We don't really need all of you around here. I mean, if they wanted, they could cut some roadie scenes for sure. I feel like. All right, we're coming up on 80 minutes, guys. How about we do this till we hit 90? Didn't he get arrested for beating his wife? That's what. No, I don't think I heard that one. I think he might be one of those guys like Denzel Washington who's been married a long time, but it's not that noticeable. And it was 2001. Man, that was way before he blew up. Wasn't he in Big Mama's House? And I've never seen that, but I think Terrence Howard was in Big Mama's House. And that might be where people got their first glimpse of him. He slapped her. Man, I wish we could publicly slap other people's kids. Right? You know, come to think of it, I don't know if kids act up as bad in public as they did when I'm talking from a young standpoint. It was like, if I didn't get my action figure at Walmart that day, there was going to be checkout lane. Do you guys see that kind of behavior? Or now does that kind of manifest later where it's like, okay, because, you know, I didn't get a Leonardo figure, I have to go do a gang shooting. Like, do they hold on to that and then go, now I can finally do something? I don't see that style of kind of like primitive acting out in public. Not like in the 90s. In the 90s, there was a lot of kids having fits in the aisle. Then there's the whole Tom Hanks thing. When you say whole Tom Hanks thing, is that related to Terrence Howard, or is there a different Tom Hanks thing? Like, because the thing in vogue lately is to say Tom Hanks is covering up, or that they got to him and he's here to tell you about the vax or something along those lines, isn't it? Different thing. Is that not the thing with Tom Hanks though? Until he was like the first with COVID. Actually, when he was the first celebrity of COVID, it was like outpour. Have to protect Tom Hanks at all costs. Like, that was the attitude. And then as everybody got it, everyone soured, right? Officially, I haven't gotten it. I hadn't gone to a doctor to be diagnosed with it. There were occasions where people in my household got it, definitely knew they got it, and then I felt pretty terrible for a few days. So, at it, right? Tom Hanks on Epstein Island. The Epstein thing, isn't it weird how President Trump 2.0 is very to react on a number of things. We've got the goal of America. We're making deals for the AI group. We're forcing other countries to do things where they get a tariff. Hell, I'll let you see the JFK files. The Epstein Island client list, that sort of thing, still seems to be kind of on the hush, doesn't it? He didn't really seem to run on, let's get the bottom of the truth on Epstein. It was really more of, okay, we're going to do all this stuff. And then after he leaves, or whatever, it's like, and then he might have visited the island a few times. But all we have is he visited the island, right? Well, is that what it is? Is Trump over here distracting us from the other things we want to learn? We want the client list. And he's like, well, about that, let's look at of America over here. Isn't that cool? Tom Hanks may have had a comedian killed. Look that up. Tom, Mr. Nicest Guy in Hollywood Hanks. The people often given that label, it doesn't usually pan out. I remember a time when they nicest people in Hollywood. This would have been like early 2000s. The consensus, it was like Rosie O'Donnell and Jay Leno. I could still see Jay Leno being considered nicest guy in Hollywood. He doesn't really seem like he has to hang out. He doesn't owe favors. He doesn't seem to be shilling for things when he could. He kind of would just rather just work on some cars and motorcycles. It's kind of the way I see it. I've heard stories of him like giving people a lift if their car breaks down. He's got like his steam car, things like that. Rosie O'Donnell, though, Ellen DeGenerate, both of them put in that super friendly face, but then behind the scenes, it's keep your arm distance, you know. Rosie O'Donnell, you could see that come right. There's a lot of angry Rosie clips or whatever, videos confronting cameras. Ellen DeGeneres, the stories of her meanness behind the scenes is not effectively on camera or recorded, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like it's all agreed upon hearsay, but without real evidence. So, you know, it's one of these things where she put on the front of I dance my way onto the show. We sit down with the celebrities, we have a chat. Had a rather cold, you know, the only like interview I've really seen on her show, rather cold moment she had with Rocket's daughter. What's her name? Dakota Johnson. Is it Dakota Johnson? Yeah, that 50 Shades girl, Dakota, right? Madam Web. And she's like, "Oh, but I did invite you to my party. You just didn't come." You know, like things like there's a cold little exchange there. And that I feel was the Kickstarter for maybe Ellen isn't who she told us. Regardless, I'm gonna get some arrows. Get those arrows sharpened. Pretty good stand-up comedy. The key to stand-up comedy kind of boils down to: are you trying to impress chicks? If you're trying to impress hot chicks, you can be a good comedian, and that's what Ellen do. So, no, Ellen has a great delivery when it comes to comedy because it is pointed and not trying too hard. There's not a lot of searching for words. It's very worked out. But she knows she's killing and she doesn't have to oversell it and make some goofy face. That's the lane you would ideally like to be in. Some people go a little too low energy. Oh, God, I keep forgetting the guy's name. The hair of Garfunkel. But, shit. Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright might be a little low energy to work for an extended period of time. Alone. But when he kills, you know? So some of this stuff... for me, I like to do like a variety of things so that it doesn't get boring. To me, you know, whether or not you're bored watching, that's different. But to me, it's like, okay, so here's the part with the impressions. Here's some observation. You know, now we make fun of the guy that's dressed like Luigi in the crowd. You know, kind of hit a few different styles. Dakota Johnson is such a plain Jane. Has she her nose worked on? Because I see pictures of her looking like straightforward and it's like there's not much of a nose there. And she doesn't look like either her mom or dad, which raises questions. Am I wrong? Also, one other thing. I need to buy two movies on Target to buy one, get one 50% off. Or it could be a game also, but I don't see them there. Whatever. I was thinking the complete series of Miami Vice on Blu-ray I can get for like $30. after the deal. It could come in handy. Gives you 100 episodes show, but I mean, you can't do 100 videos on that. That would be taxing. I think that would kill the channel right quick, right? People who have noses too small for their faces look creepy as hell. There are doctors out there giving them away. Somewhere, these girls like, nope, I need the nose smaller. And the doctor's like, if your money's good, if the credit card clears, fine. We take those right off. Isn't that the truth? So I was looking at that Megazone Meg 2-3 Blu-ray, and in conjunction with the Miami Vice collection. And then I could get the two of those 50, like once I worked out everything. And then I was thinking, there's a time when that would have seemed like too much. Like, just the high price of physical media right now is designed to drive you to the streaming services, doesn't it? It's like, well, you could buy this and you're only going to watch it once or twice, or you can get a whole month of this stuff over here, right? And now you have, when you have all the services, then you decide what to watch. So you have to go find something you don't have. It's like, have access to all this, but they're caught my eye, so let's do that instead. And that's the way it goes, isn't it? Yep. All right. We got 1 minute left, so I guess we will go ahead and wind this down. I will make some popcorn, something, though I'm not sure what. I kind of wanted to watch that Dune 2 because I did like the first one, but I think it has Florence Pugh, so that's out of the question. Oh, man, what is even coming in the pipeline? Oh, yeah, we had Brave New World come out this weekend, right? Not a word in the chat. Bad movie review trending on X, though nothing's ever trending anymore. Now it's a For You topic, and it was all related to Captain America Brave New World. One asshat said, the people who hate Captain America Brave New World are the same people who told you The Flash was good. And I'm thinking, who were these people telling you The Flash was good? Because I didn't come across it, right? Except that James Gunn, right? He wanted you to think it was because everybody else knew that it was basically an abandoned universe, right? Brave New World is lame. Cue vampire hissing sound. Man, the talk around, and just I feel like there's any hype for Brave New World, right? Like, people are more inclined to talk about the upcoming season of Twisted Metal than Anthony's movie, right? When you put these like not quite movie stars in streaming series, and then you say, oh, you have to pay a lot of money to go see them on the big screen, you go, yeah, but he's a streaming star. We've got Anthony Mackie at home. We don't need to go over there, right? I feel like they've cut their whole system here, and it's glorious. On that note, if you made it this far, wait until marriage counseling.